What's going on, folks? My name is Justin Freed, and I'm joined today by Michigan tight end AJ Barner. AJ, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, can't complain.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate you joining me. You've got the NFL drafts coming up. This is a lifelong dream, hopefully being realized in a few weeks. But was this always a dream for you? I know you played a lot of sports growing up. You played baseball, basketball. I think you wrestled as well. Was football always your top sport? Was the NFL your dream?
Yeah, for sure. Football was always my top sport, but I wouldn't say like just where I'm from, nobody's ever been to the NFL, so it wasn't like, it wasn't like it was always like gonna happen for me. Like I was gonna play football either way, whether it was at the Division 3 level, Division 2, or D1 level. I was always gonna play football because I just loved it.
Yeah, and I would say I would call it unconventional football journey from high school to college. You started off as a quarterback, then you switched to tight end and linebacker, I believe. And you first committed to Ohio as a defensive player, switching your commitment to Indiana as a tight end. Take me through
Yeah.
that whole recruiting process and what led to your decision to, one, I guess, play tight end and two, attend Indiana.
Yeah, I mean crazy. I would say just the whole thing is just like each time it's just like I just kind of I've always kind of been, I guess, undervalued at the start and just continue to show my worth. You mentioned I was going to go to Ohio, and then other opportunities came forth in Indiana, and then I went to Michigan, and then now for the NFL draft, I still feel like the same way. But I think, a year or two into the league, people are going to look back and be like, well, this kid, shouldn't have flown under the radar like that.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Like, I feel like your college numbers don't jump off the page. Like, no one's going to look
No.
at your numbers and be impressed or whatever. But I feel like the tape speaks for itself. And I think the phrase a lot of people use when referring to you is untapped potential. Is that something you'd agree with? And do you think you're kind of still just scratching the surface of your potential?
100%. I mean, I feel like one thing, like my age compared to a lot of the tight ends in the draft class, like I'm still a pretty young guy. Um, but yeah, I mean the opportunities I had, maybe wasn't as much as some other guys, but I feel like my numbers are what they are, and I feel like they'll only get better in the NFL. And I feel like you said, my best years are ahead of me.
For sure, man. And you spent 3 years at Indiana, then the first two were kind of, more as a backup, special teams, before you finally
Yeah.
got the chance to start as a junior. Then after that, you make the decision to transfer to Michigan. So what went into your decision to transfer to Michigan for your senior season?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to go somewhere and win, and compete for a national championship. And I just felt like it was, just winning there was kind of a challenge. Like we didn't have much success when I was there outside of my freshman year, and there was a lot of different quarterbacks I was playing with, and some turnover on the staff. So I just felt like it'd be in my best interest to go somewhere that was like more of a national power and was trying to win a national championship.
And you did. You did, man. You get to Michigan and you win a national championship in your first year there. What was that like? Going from a program with Indiana, which, like you said, had its ups and downs, to going to Michigan and winning a national championship. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the whole reason why I went there, for the most part, like obviously to get better, to be challenged and whatnot. But they kind of told me like they were bringing me in there and some other guys too, and like that was the goal to win the national championship. They had lost in the Final Four or whatever the year before, so to have that goal for us the whole year and then to make it come true was definitely sick.
Yeah, and at Michigan, you had the opportunity to learn from one of the greats in Jim Harbaugh. What was it like
Yeah.
working with Coach Harbaugh? And also, have you spoken to him at all? Maybe,
Mhm.
reuniting with him in LA with the Chargers?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was great to work with Coach Harbaugh. I mean, legendary coach. And yeah, he's had success at every level that he's been at. And then, yeah, I mean, I definitely have been in contact, um, just like every other team. But I feel like, they definitely know what I can bring to the table. And I feel like Coach would say the same thing, that I have some untapped potential for sure.
Definitely. And also, while you're at Michigan, you had the opportunity to play alongside one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and JJ McCarthy. We
Yeah.
can rattle off the accolades and the awards, but in your
Mhm.
own words, talk to me about what makes him such a special player.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say JJ is a competitor. Like everywhere he's been, he's won. Whether it was at high school in Illinois, at IMG, and at Michigan. And I think JJ is kind of a lot of us Michigan guys have that same, I guess, reputation going into the draft where JJ's numbers aren't what some of the other quarterbacks are, but I feel like when you turn on the tape and you see, when JJ was asked to, throw the ball a lot in a game, he's perfectly capable of that. And I mean, at the end of the day, he just wants to win.
Definitely. And I feel like that's the story with a lot of Michigan players. Like a lot of Michigan players, I feel like come into the NFL and they might not have the eye-popping numbers that other
Yeah,
prospects do, but then they end up becoming super successful players in the NFL.
for
Uh,
sure.
Someone like you've had a lot of experience playing special teams, go dating back to Indiana as well. I believe you blocked a punt while you're at Indiana.
Yeah.
Is that something you consider a strength of your game and that you're looking to carry over to the NFL?
100%. I just feel like I'm a football player. Like wherever I'm at in the field, I feel like I can definitely make plays and help a team win. And I take pride in special teams. And I know that, the margin for victory in the NFL is very slim, and special teams can help win a bunch of games for your team.
Definitely. And you mentioned we talked about the untapped potential and everything. What are some areas of your game that you think you can still improve upon once you get to the NFL?
Yeah. I think, just my route running ability. I think I've put some good things on tape, but just being more consistent. And then yeah, just the opportunities. Like when the opportunity does come my way, to make plays with it. Unfortunately, like I really didn't get a ton of balls thrown my way, but I know that opportunity will come in the NFL, and just being prepared for it and making the most of it when it does.
Yeah, and speaking of the draft, you had the opportunity to participate in the Senior Bowl this year as
Mhm.
well. So what was that whole experience down like, being at the Senior Bowl?
For sure, it was cool. I mean, growing up, definitely, knew about the Senior Bowl and knew about how much of a privilege it is to be able to go there and compete. So yeah, it definitely piqued my interest when I was invited there. And I think the Senior Bowl just helps you prepare for like what the combine is going to be like and the whole pre-draft process. Because like when you're in Mobile, you're there for a week, and you're busy the whole week. So it definitely was a good preparation for the whole process.
Yeah, for sure. And we mentioned before the Chargers and John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh. Are there any teams that you've kind of spoken with a little bit more than others leading up to the draft? Maybe it's the Chargers, maybe other teams.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely a couple. I mean, I feel like I've spoke to, all the teams between Senior Bowl, Combine, but there's probably been like at least 20 to 25 teams that I've had, Zoom meetings with, and then like five or so visits I've been on. So yeah, I mean, definitely good amount of interest. But for me, like I feel like, wherever I go in the draft, I could really be any team. So I'm not leaning in any way.
For sure. Going to be the same mindset wherever you end up, regardless.
Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
let's end this with a couple of fun, like quick hitter fun, get to know you questions a little bit. Always love doing that.
For
Uh,
sure, yeah, let's do it.
First one, just simple. What are some of your favorite hobbies outside of football? When you're not on the gridiron, when you're not playing, what are you doing?
Yeah, probably just hanging out with my buddies, maybe grilling some food, playing some cards, a little bit of golf, just kicking it, listening to music, and then yeah, talking football too. But yeah, probably just hanging out with my friends.
There you go. There you go. What kind of music you listen to?
All kinds, rap, country, classic rock, just chill music. I feel like I can listen to all types of music.
Yeah, I feel like you're from Ohio. I feel like that's such like a melting pot of different music
For
genres.
sure,
Doesn't
for
surprise
sure. You get country folks, you get city people. Yeah, so I'm with all of it.
I love it. I love it. I'm the same way. I feel like, in that same vein, in that similar question, what is your go-to karaoke song? I feel like you find out a lot about people with this answer.
Um, I would say if I had to do one, it'd be Charleston Girl by Tyler Childers, maybe. I'd probably need the lyrics, but a country.
I love it. I can't say I'm familiar with that song, but that's cool with me,
I'll have to
man.
give it a listen. It's a good song.
I'll have to listen as soon as we finish this. I'll have to go and listen.
All right, I bet.
All right, love it, man. All right, AJ, I really appreciate you taking the time. I want to wish you the best of luck with the draft later this month, and you got a busy few weeks coming up. So, I really, really appreciate you taking the time.
For sure. Appreciate you having me on here.